So we are headed to go pick up our floor plans, and we are driving past our new land. Yeah. Oh no, that's new. That's new. That's not. I couldn't see that yet. That's not what I thought you were talking about. But our street sign is up. The sign for our street is up. So that's exciting. How you feel, Mr. Jones?
I feel good. We received our building permit today. We're going to pick up our plans right now. So, things are looking good. We have a couple of contractors already lined up to start staking out and digging here soon. So, things are looking good.
Large format floor plans.
The
blueprints to the house. So that means we really got to build this thing now, bud.
Oh, it's going up.
Surveying, excavating, block land.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well, after we dig a hole, we got to fill the hole. So that's the footings.
Okay.
And then after we fill the footings, concrete, they got to come out and inspect. Get past that inspection piece. Then call the block guy out. Come lay the block. After we lay the block,
start building.
well, all of this is part of the building process, sweetie. But yes.
Start putting up the wall.
Oh, we got to get the foundation finished first, but
you have to pour the slab after the block. But even before that, you have to fill the block with dirt. It's called backfilling. Okay?
Okay.
all right, we are headed to another supplier, set up an account. We'll talk more about like finances and stuff in a sit down video. That's not what this video is about. But we are going to do that because stuff is coming along. You gonna chime in, Byron?
Huh? What? What's up?
Chime in.
Oh, no, we're just going to meet with one of the suppliers to set up an account so that we can easily purchase material and supplies. We don't have to come down to the supply shop every time we need to purchase, or a contractor needs items. We can just call it in if we have an account open with them, and then pay the account off each month.
Yeah, and this particular supplier will deliver it to us and everything. I mean, I feel like that's probably pretty common, but still notable that you don't have to necessarily, like he was saying, you don't have to come and shop, and you don't even have to come to pick it up. They'll drop it off to your job site for you so that it's available when your contractor needs what they need. And what we are going to need next is, of course, the supplies to build out our foundation. So that is what we are on today. Hey, Christina here. So one of the things on our Saturday to-do list is to design and submit for printing a sign for us to put out on the property. Sign is a very important component because it lets the inspector know where to go, and it's also something for any delivery people who are bringing anything for the process. It's something for them to look for, to know where the property is. And so I'm about to take a few minutes to get that designed. So Staples can't get us this sign until like weeks from now. Stuff is just it's just going, but I'm a very enterprising young lady, so we're gonna put it together and work it out. We're gonna work it out. So everybody in the house is cleaning except me. Uh, everybody is cleaning. Zoe is following me around, but we are doing just, preparing to leave the house so that when we return home to a clean home. And so now that I am done printing and all of that with the signs, I am going to join in and do my part, and then we are going to head out.
Wait, but everything's already done.
Everything's not already done. I'm back. So we've swung by the property and people are doing stuff, not on our property, adjacent properties. And Brian is about to go ask him what he's doing. So Brian's gonna tell us what they're doing.
All right, so AT&T is going to run fiber in this neighborhood, which will give us access to high-speed internet in addition to the AT&T U-verse or that cable package. Mm-hmm. My concern was because we're planning to stake on Monday for our plot plan.
Yeah.
And so I was concerned about if they would be done wrapping up or any interference there. But he said that they should finish up today with at least our part of the street. So no concern there when it comes to us getting started. Plus, there's a normal setback that you have to follow, like a utility easement at the front of your property. And normally it's anywhere from 15 to 25 feet for that utility easement. And they're kind of right within that utility easement. But my concern was getting equipment over the trench that they're currently digging. But he said it'll be covered up by later today. So
yeah. That's pretty cool though. Yeah. High speed. All right. So okay. So we're here in good old Depository of Homes. I've already switched the camera back to get a mailbox to put out because we have to put out our permit. I see what you mean on your shirt though. We have to put out our permit and all of that has to be posted at the property. So we're gonna make sure we're adhering to the rules. Really isn't.
Yeah. So when building a new construction home, one of the things that you have to do is you have to put your permits out on your land. In addition to that, the city requires that we put up a sign with our phone number, our what else is on the sign? Our name, our phone number, and the address of the property. So what we're getting ready to do today is we picked up a mailbox from our local hardware store. I'm going to attach it to a pole, and we're going to take that over to the property to install it. So our permits will go inside the mailbox because they have to be on site whenever an inspection is called out for our property. We're also going to put build a blueprints holder so that we will have full blueprints on site for the subcontract. We just finished putting our base piece on our mailbox. Now I had an old fence post that broke a while back. I've been holding on to this. This seemed like the right project to use it. So I'm gonna chop off the broken end. We'll shorten it a little bit for mailbox height, and we'll get this attached to our base. So now that we have finished mounting our mailbox to a base plate, in addition, we have also cut our 4x4 down to the proper height. Now it's time to work on the feet. For this mailbox, I am going to make it so that we don't dig a hole into the ground, but instead we're going to have feet on the box. So if the excavator needs to move the mailbox out of the way, it can easily be done and then put back in place. And the way that I'm going to do that, I'm going to use these 2x6 boards. We're going to rip them in half, and then from there I'm going to make 4 feet that will kind of cradle this 4x4 and act as stabilizers for our mailbox. We've got our mailbox. We can set our permits in on our construction site, and we're good to go. This is also portable, so if we need to pick it up and move it to another location on a job site, we'll still be able to do that without grabbing the post hole digger.
That's as far as I can get it. All right. Moment of truth.
So it's official. This is our permit going in the box.
We
Are
are upside down. There we go. And we are officially cleared to start building our house. How I feel.
What's up, YouTube? We're back again with another vlog video for you.
Yep.
This is an exciting episode. There's a lot
Yeah.
that's happened, and we'll be sharing it with you on today.
Out of the property today.
Yeah, Christina's excited because today we're actually standing on the property where our house will be
Yes.
later on this year. So I think last week where we left off,
Yeah.
we were going to submit for permits.
Yep. We were
right?
going to submit for permits. We were hoping to get our finalized plans. I think those were the two main things: submitting those permits and getting the finalized plans. And boom, they both happened. But we're gonna walk you through how it happened.
Yeah. So on Tuesday, right?
Yep.
On Tuesday, that's when we submitted permits to the city. And, it was a really surreal moment at that
Yep.
point. You kind of do all this planning up until that point, and then when it actually happens, you're like, wow, here we are.
I hope they approve them. I hope they like them.
Right. And so that was Tuesday. Then by Wednesday, they actually approved the plans.
Yep. We got that email.
Yeah. So it only took, 1 day kind of here in our city
Yep.
to take care of the permits and kind of walk through that process. The other great thing about it is in our city, the system is automated.
Yeah.
So you can submit everything digitally
Yep. Everything
online.
is online. Yep.
And then you can watch and track and watch it progress through the different stages.
Yep.
So Wednesday, we got our approval. I
Yep.
immediately turned around and paid the fees
Yes.
for the permit.
We don't want no trouble. Go ahead and get these people their money.
yeah. So it was like, hey, let's hurry up and get this thing going. And so after that, then on Tuesday, I'm sorry, not Tuesday, but Friday morning, they actually submitted.
Thursday.
Thursday. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Thursday morning.
Thursday morning, they actually submitted the permit. So we were super excited to find out Thursday morning that it was official.
Had to send it to some people.
Yeah, we had to send it to some close friends and family and let them know, hey, our permit is issued.
We're official.
We're official. So I started reaching out to the excavator and to the surveyor, just letting them know. They were already on standby, but just saying, hey,
it's go time.
It's time to go. Let's get those stakes in the ground. Let's get it lined out, and let's move forward. So this week, plans are to, get the ground staked and then have the excavator come out and start digging our footings. So we'll have more video to show around that process and what that looks like.
What all of that means and all of that good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my screen here.
So that was permits. All of that was taken care of. But then the other big news that happened on Thursday was that we were able to go pick up like the official copies of the blueprints for our house, which was a really cool moment as well, being able to hold that in our hands. And they had the little Jones Residence placard at the bottom. And that was really cool.
Yep. And I didn't know that you would get so many copies, at least with our designer. Included in our price, he gave us 6 copies of full blueprints. So we'll show you what those look like later, but that includes things like elevation, that includes the floor plan itself, the foundation plan, and the roof plan. So, and that's, normally when you see the big sheets that they roll out. So I thought it was pretty cool that he gave us 6 copies.
Because the crazy thing was he said that they tend to walk away. Like people, like you give them to some contractors and they don't give them back, or sometimes people will even take them off of your lot, and I don't know what they're going to do with it, but hey. Okay.
Right. And then, so now that we have our permits and we're set there and it's time to start building, we'll talk a little bit about some other interesting things that happened this week.
The earlier part of the week.
Yeah, the earlier part of the week. So we gave y'all kind of the good news first.
Yeah.
I don't know. Normally, do you save the good stuff for last and then kind of give the...
You're supposed to get the bad news first, but it's okay.
We might have messed up a little bit.
Because it's all good news, because we're doing this.
All right, so loan status, right? So last week we said we would look at taking out a construction loan. And it had always been in the back of our head, to take out a construction loan for this process. But me being the frugal person that I am, I also was looking at how much we would pay in interest, and if we took out a construction loan, what would that do for our timeline? Like the amount of pressure that would add to, if a contractor or subcontractor, stalled on us.
Right, if there were delays.
Or delays and we were sitting there paying. Or if there were supplies delays, right, which we'll get into a little bit later. And if we're just sitting around waiting, that's interest being eating. So, but really kind of the, straw that broke the camel's back on this decision was that I had spoken to the loan officer, and initially there was a mix-up in how long it would take.
Yes.
She told us that it would take 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks. What was it? A couple of days.
Right. The first
way she
implication was that it was going to take a couple of days, and so we banked on that. We counted on trusting what that information that we were given, and then it turned into about 2 weeks, which was annoying, but it's like, okay, we can work with that. Okay. Then it turned into something else.
Yep. And we'll get to that in a minute, but I guess the main piece from this with the loan situation is, when she said a couple of days, I was thinking, wow, normally it takes 30 to 45 days, to close on a loan. But a couple of days, hey, maybe we should go ahead and do this. We've got a little time. It was kind of in between submitting the permits, and we had our subcontractors kind of on standby, for staking and doing the excavation. So it was a thing of like, okay, maybe we can put this in the meantime. But then they hit us with 30 to 45 days before the loan would process. In addition to that, we couldn't start on our project until the loan was closed. So what that meant is it was going to push us back a whole nother 4 weeks or
Right.
1 month on this process.
While we're already dealing with supply chain issues, price hikes is already enough to contend with. And now on top of this, you're telling us that what we can't do on the land that we own.
Right? Right?
And I was like,
Yeah, so we had a little bit of that moment like, hey, this is what we sacrificed for. This is, what we've been preparing for all this time. And so one of the deciding factors in
Yeah.
foregoing to go with the loan was the fact that, it was a timing thing.
Yeah.
Here, it's November, early November.
Yeah.
And when you pour footings, the concrete needs to cure. And if it's too cold, then you can run into some other issues with the concrete properly curing. So that was one of my main concerns as we're getting ready to break ground.
Yeah.
Waiting another month would have put us into December, which gets cool here in our area in
Yeah.
December.
And last year we had a terrible ice storm that ruined everything for a good 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm not saying that I think it's going to happen again, but in case it does happen again, I would rather be on the move before that happens.
Yeah, so that's the loan status. So we're skipping the loan. What that means, and we were well prepared for this
Yes.
step as well. Often, it's kind of one of those things, if you can use other people's money, then, that's a good thing. But in this case, Christina and I have been planning for this for, at least over a year and a half at this point. So we had contingency plans in place that depending on if certain things happen, because I am a planner.
The contingency plan is that I can't be in Target like I am usually in Target. But that's not the whole contingency plan, but
Yeah. So we'll be paying for this project out of pocket, but
As
it
we
should
go.
be fun.
Yeah.
It should
Yeah.
be interesting to find out the creative ways that we're going to move forward.
Yes.
Through this process. So the other thing when it comes to delays outside of the loan, we had delays with windows, right?
Yes.
Go ahead
Well,
and tell them about it.
when we first were starting this project, every time we talked to suppliers, everybody was telling us, not even just suppliers, even builders that we spoke to early in the process, everybody was saying, as soon as you break ground, as soon as we break ground, you need to order your doors, you need to order your windows. And so we thought we were doing the right thing by, okay, we're about to break ground, let's order these windows. So we found out when we basically went to order these windows that the windows that we were in the market for were going to take 5 months. And we could choose a slightly different option, but even the slightly different option is going to take 4 months. So we're getting different windows.
Yeah, we're getting a different brand of windows, but we
Yeah.
did find a supplier that could give us a quicker turnaround on the
yes.
windows.
Yes.
The lead time went down to 2.5 to 3 weeks
Months.
versus 2.5 to 3 months. Thank
Mhm.
you, versus 4 to 5 months. So saving a month in construction time is a big deal. So with all of that said and in place, we found some different windows that's
Yes.
going to work out, and I'm sure there'll be more ebb and flow.
Yes.
Things like that we'll need to do as these supply chain issues kind
Right.
of work their way.
And it's kind of one of those things where you have a preference, right? You have what you want it to be, but you can either, when these changes happen, you can either go with the flow and be flexible, or you can be rigid and just lean into the delay. And the windows were something that I'm not rigid enough on, that we're not rigid enough on, that we were willing to have that delay. And so we are going to be ordering those windows first thing.
Yeah, and windows are a big deal because you can't put your AC or your HVAC in.
Yeah.
You really don't want to start putting up drywall and any other material because the home isn't dried in until
Right.
your windows and doors are put in on the property. So you can have them come out, do the excavation, put the foundation in, even frame up. You have your
Yeah.
walls up, they sheathe the house, but I mean, until those windows are in, any materials you put in the house that
Right.
aren't fit for the changes in weather
Yeah, it's
can,
at risk.
yeah, they can get damaged.
Yeah.
So even 2.5 to 3 months,
Yeah.
that's a little longer than the
Yeah.
time that we'll actually have our framing and sheathing up, like
that's
from
a,
now.
That's the delay right at the start.
Yeah, and that's expectations. Who knows? Maybe something could happen between now and that time with just framing, or there's a lot of stuff in between.
Yeah.
So we have plans, but we understand that these plans are very fluid. You know,
Yeah,
so they can change, and you have to be willing to roll with the punches.
yeah,
And so, you know, we're looking forward to it next week.
yep.
So next week, we're staking the lot on
Yeah.
Monday. Our surveyor, I texted him. I was like, "Hey, I got the permits. I'm ready. I'm
Let's
ready.
go."
Let's go. Let's go." So down here in the South, hunting is a huge thing.
Very
It's a
big
huge
deal.
ordeal.
Very
And
big
so he let me know that he was out in the deer woods, but that he would be back, you know, on Monday, and we would start that staking process. So once that's complete, the excavator is on standby to really get started with excavating.
Yep.
And then we move from there. So those are the two major things that we're looking to have done next week. In addition to ordering those windows.
Yes, and doors.
Yeah, and doors. Yeah, we
Yeah.
have to pick an exterior door. I don't know why it's taking us this long to really kind of, I guess, pick
Settle, yeah.
or settle on an exterior front
Yeah.
door.
And not settle in a bad way. Just, okay, here are the options. Pick one.
Yeah, yeah. And so I think going to the supplier, we left with a huge book that has
Yeah.
so many options on the type of door you could have. Do you want a quarter of glass? Do you want half the door to be glass? Do you want the full thing to be glass? Side lights, do you want half of them to be glass or
Right.
not glass? What design? So there's a lot that was kind of thrown at us. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're mulling over that and going to make a final decision this week.
Yep. Oh, speaking of glass, you know what
Yeah.
else we did?
What's that?
We got those shower door quotes this week.
Oh, yeah. You're right. That was earlier on in the week.
Yeah, and so much else has happened. But do y'all know how much those glass shower doors cost? Like, our quotes ranged anywhere from like $2,000 to $4,000 just for the door.
Yeah, that was just the
So-
glass. In our shower, we'll be sharing our floor plan later so
Yeah.
you guys can see it. But in our master, we have a 3x5 custom built shower.
Mhm.
And so 2 sides of that shower, we wanted to be glass. And as we started calculating how much glass costs and how much that would be for the shower, we started scaling back on how
Yeah,
many
might be
walls
making a
would
little
actually
change.
get glass. I think now we're down to just one of the walls having glass
Yep.
and there being a door. So, you know, we got that going.
Yeah, but I think it's despite the little setbacks and holdups and all of that, it was a good week for progress with the house, and I'm looking forward to what else is going to come. Like the window thing, it was a little disheartening. You saw early in the vlog how we vlogged. We were excited on the way, and then
Yeah.
you didn't see anything else on the way back because it was heavy. We had some heavy, figuring out to do, but that's how this process goes, and it's what everybody wonders about.
Right.
That there were going to be, there were going to be places where it was going to get frustrating, and where there were going to be delays, and where we were really going to have to figure things out. But I think we can do it. I think we got it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, I have so many times just run through my head all the different ways that this project could go wrong,
Yes.
and tried to find a way for me to be okay with that before we start.
Right,
And so I think just doing that exercise kind of helps you to just say, and I'm sure I didn't think of everything.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some stuff that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need a minute because I didn't think of that one.
Yeah.
But this is it's expected.
Yeah, we'll be able to roll with whatever punches. Our family has a roof over our heads right now, and that's very secure. So the time it takes is the time it takes, and we'll make it happen.
We'll make it happen. Well, hey, this video is getting a little long.
Yeah, as you can see, it's getting dark.
Yeah. So it's probably time for us to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by the channel. If
Yeah.
you like what you saw today and you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Ring that bell notification and
Yep.
you'll get updated on new videos.
Yep. And if you want to follow us on other social media platforms, you can do so at BuildWBC.
Until next time,
Bye.
peace.
Build a home with Byron and Christina.